All right, everybody, we are live. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. And I have on with us Ms. Candice Pitts. And today we're going to be discussing why are all of the pro-black men on TV either swirling or gay? And I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it seems like the black men who are very vocal on, we'll say, CNN. Let's start with Van Jones in regards to black issues, white supremacy, racism. Van Jones has a white wife. Then you have Don Lemon, who at times is very vocal when calling out white supremacy or racism, dealing with police brutality. He's homosexual. Then I just found out. I can't. Maybe do you watch a lot of TV, like CNN? Like, do you watch it somewhat?
I catch little clips that I see on Facebook after somebody, says something crazy and everybody talks about it. But no, I don't really watch TV.
Okay. What I can't think of the I can't think of the guy's name. Goodness. Has like an afro. Wears glasses. I know he has a show on CNN that deals with racism. Do you know who I'm speaking about?
I'm not familiar with that one, but
I gotta
I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta find this guy's name.
Okay.
Hold on one second. Kamal Bell. Let's say his name well. Say it right. Kamau Bell. Kamal Bell. W. Kamal Bell. I wonder if I'm saying that right. He has a show, United Shades of America.
Okay, yeah, I've seen this guy. He's a comedian, right?
I don't know. Let me ask you, do you have the show replaying on your end? Or you just have the Google Hangouts?
I just have the Google Hangouts. You want me to hold on? Let me pull it up.
Yeah, but just make sure you mute the if you have it playing, just make sure you mute it. But it's fine. Is there an echo, you guys? But we'll continue. But yeah, so he has a white wife. Then of course you have your boy Donald Glover. Same thing.
Yep.
White wife. Now, am I being a conspiracy theorist when saying that in order to get on a major network, okay, and be vocal when it comes to black issues and speaking out on white supremacy, that you have to either be gay or have a white wife? I mean, is this conspiracy theory? Am I the only person that's noticed this, or have you?
I've definitely noticed it. I think there's a few reasons for it, for sure. But I think that, of course, like, these people are picked by, executives. And most of these executives are not black, first of all.
Right.
But I think that there's even, like, yes, these are the ones that we're like seeing on TV and in the media, the ones that have a voice. And so they stick out like a sore thumb to us. But I think there's also like a deeper thing that's happening. But it is meant to manipulate people and kind of fetishize and get people to think like that's the norm. And I'm just going to go ahead and say, I, of course, am mixed. That's very clear. Thank goodness for my mom and my dad, because I exist. But what I do have a problem with is making it seem like that's the in thing to do. And people, like, I see all the time people talking about, oh, I want to have a mixed baby, blah, 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 blah. and it's like the cool thing to do. But nobody really talks about like the practicality of it, and also the inner workings of what does that look like on a day-to-day basis, you know, besides the cute pictures that you have. What are the mindsets of these people? Now, I think in the instance of, you know, all of these big stars, and we're talking about in TV, but this extends to basketball, football, music, etc. We see a lot of Black men that are famous and in the limelight, who are quote unquote woke with white wives.
Right.
I don't think that it's against them being in support of the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a disconnect. Just because you are supporting the Black community doesn't mean like you're not about to start your own family, be trying to partner with someone who's like supportive of what you're doing. And so I think that is where we are seeing at least a lot of the swirling happening. And
Now,
part of it is on us.
now we can go ahead and throw in Sidney Poitier and I butchered his name, and Harry Belafonte. Now, they were both active in the civil rights movement, but Eartha Kitt once said that Harry Belafonte told her that he would not be caught with a Black woman when, I guess, Eartha Kitt tried to holler at him, and that he will only date and marry white women, which he did. But he did a lot for the, I would say, Black community. And I guess he would be considered pro-Black, which we have to define pro-Black, because people are saying that the people that I mentioned aren't pro-Black. With that being said, can you be pro-Black and have a non-Black spouse?
I absolutely think that you can. And here's why. Clearly, I'm mixed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've had, of course, the quote unquote mixed experience where I sometimes had the experience where I'm not Black enough for the Black folk, I'm not white enough for the white folk. And so I'm just like out here, you know, in La La Land. But I had a conversation with my mother, who, you know, my mother is white, about why I identify with being a Black woman. That's because I live the Black experience. You know, I go shopping for makeup, and, you know, all of the shades are ivory or, you know, whatever. Or I go into job interviews. I'm from West Virginia. There's like tons of racism here. So I grew up around that. So I absolutely identify with and support Black issues because I relate to that. Now, my husband is Black and we have a Black child.
Uh-huh.
So these men that we see that are pro-Black, well, then they have a white woman, but they have a child that's still having Black experience for the most part. Some of their kids could be, you know, like my nephew is like, it's hard to tell that he has any Black in him. But I also have to keep in mind that we can sit here, the small group of people. You see my kid in the back? We can sit here and pretend like it's only pro-Black people that are the ones who are making any progress in the Black community. But to be honest, it is it's a whole bunch of people who are supporting that. What's wrong is wrong. We didn't get freed from slavery on our own. That was also, there were white people at the Martin Luther King rallies, you know, the Million Man March, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that like the divisiveness really hurts us and keeps us from progressing.
So let me ask you this, Candice. How did I got like a bad echo on my end? Hold on one second. Hold on one second. I don't know what this is. Okay, here we go. Right there. Okay. Now let me ask you this. How did because I mean the issue with I guess being a pro black and marrying non-black is that your non-black spouse does not understand the black experience and never will and never can. Just from your experience, like with your mother, how did she, I guess, like, you're in West Virginia, your dad is black. Could she relate to your father's experience as far as being a black man in West Virginia?
That's a really interesting thing because my mom was a teenage mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she had me at 16, my brother at 17.
Mm-hmm.
She and my brother, like, or she and my father were never together really. You know, like they were together as teenagers and, you know, enough for us to come about, but not enough for them to like build a family together. So the two of them really didn't have to deal, you know, they can't really relate on that note. She could have like understanding of it, but she can't fully comprehend what that's like. Now, on my end, I'm her daughter. And she, of course, my father wasn't around, so it was my mom. So she was always having to deal with us. We had multiple neighbors that were racist,
Mm-hmm.
you know, events of racism at school, and she had to deal with that, and she couldn't relate to it because, you know, she's a white woman, but she's trying to protect her children.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one thing, like that's what I'm talking about, the practicality of it is that if you are someone who is pro-black and you're with someone who is white, like you have to be with someone who is extremely empathetic and honest. You know, like I have friends who are, you know, white, married to a black man, and um will be very honest that they're like, you know, I don't completely understand this, and they have to be open to hearing that and supportive as well, in that no, this is like a real thing happening. But then also there is such a thing as white privilege. It does exist here, and they could, if you had the right partner, you know, the right woman, um, could also be very vital, even more so than some black women
Mm-hmm.
it could be. Um, I have plenty of friends on um, that run the gamut, but I will say that there are some black women I know that just are not supportive of um, you know, taking a stand and fighting against this thing. A lot of them are just like, you know, this is just how it is.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that but why do you but because my thing is, okay, if you're black, if you're pro-black, I mean, why wouldn't you want black children? Like, I mean, then you have to deal with generational wealth where there's chances that, the wealth that's passed on is not going to benefit the black community or those black children, after they begin to produce. I mean, I mean, it's a fact. So if you're pro-black, why would you um, date outside or have children outside of a black person?
You know, I think that in some of these men's cases, um, I have been in a relationship, you know, I've been with my husband for 10 years, but I remember how hard it is just to date, period. Like for a man or for a woman, like I'm very sympathetic to both sides, because the dating pool of like eligible, let's just say eligible people, period, is already very small.
Right.
And then when you have in your mind that there are certain criteria that you want, you know, if you're a man and you're looking for a woman, you want somebody who's like going to be supportive, maybe sacrificing, a homemaker, like men have all kinds of different things, and women, we have that too. So those things make the pool even smaller. So I think that there definitely is an issue first with some are self-hating. That exists. Like, let's be real, there are some that have that deep in their subconscious, and it's maybe easier for us to see it, but they can't really identify with it. But then I think also on another level, there are just challenges with finding a partner, period, that is on the same level as you, wants to work towards the same goal, have the same, you know, level of commitment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, to me, I never had, I guess because I was mixed, I never had like a limitation that I felt, but almost everyone that I was with was Black, because I wanted to have someone that I shared the experience with, but not to like, to everybody that's not necessarily as important, but that doesn't mean that they can't still be supportive of the community in some, you know, in some capacity.
So, hey, it's like, I don't know what's wrong with my microphone or what it is, but okay. All right, we just got to work with it. But let me ask you this: why? Sorry about that. But this is another thing I'm starting to notice, that a lot of these Black men with wealth and resources, like the white women that they're marrying, aren't even cute. Is there a reason for that, you think?
Look, there is that, but I think, I don't know, I do feel like unattractive women as a whole, just have, like, this sounds really terrible, but for the most part, unattractive women are better wives. Like, I'll tell you, because I grew up mixed, and I grew up in, like, you know, the school that I went to, the nickname is Whitro, because it's just like super white. And, you know, white men, not really into Black chicks. And then you throw on it, like, I was super nerdy and weird. So I didn't identify with like being attractive. And women that are like attractive in general, whether white or Black, play on that a lot. It is one of our problems. So sometimes if we're attractive, like, we don't feel like we need to develop other characteristics that are just good for being a potential mate. So what I have noticed is that for the most part, you know, with the exception of like Ice-T, I don't notice that the Black men really get with like the gold digger type white women. You know, they get with, like, for the most part, maybe she's homely looking Jane, but homely looking Jane is like, you know, super supportive of you know, a actor's career. Somebody that always has to be on the road, that maybe, you know, the super attractive girl that's like really insecure can't handle her man being away for extended amounts of time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it could be also like, I think that there are, when it comes to looking for, you know, marriage, there are certain qualities that are more appealing that happen to be in maybe, you know, girls that just didn't didn't grow up like having all of the attention.
Yeah, but I want to address the misconception that just because a white woman is ugly, that she's not going to take all your money when it's time for a divorce. I'm trying to think of an example, but there have been several examples of black men, and I'm gonna look them up, who have gotten divorces from white women who were probably sixes on a scale of 10 or fives, who hit them over the head. So we
Yeah.
can't always think that because a woman is not good looking that she's not gonna hit them over the head. So, but okay, let me ask you this: Can you?
But also, Dinus, like that's just like a an issue with the system just in general. Like the way that divorce is set up, it's almost like I won't say it almost is like because I'm aware, like it is supportive of a woman leaving a man. It is created to be divisive and keep couples separate because to some women, like they're like, I could get, you know, tens of thousands of dollars every month and not even have to deal with this dude. Period. Like that's whether you're attractive or unattractive, or even if you're not, you know, dealing with someone who's famous. I know men who, you know, maybe they've just worked really hard and have some resources that have been hit over the head.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. And what most women just don't realize is it's stupid. It's really stupid. Because, okay, first of all, this is going to sound really ridiculous, but
Go
it's
ahead.
If you're dealing with a man, maybe you're making $10,000 a month in alimony. If you are, you know, just concerned about the money, the man is worth more to you being with you. Like you have access to more staying with the guy. Now maybe he is a jerk or whatever, and so that's why, you know, you leave. But that incentive to me is just ridiculous for anybody, any woman who really is about family, period.
Okay. Everybody, can we get the Ben Bailey? Everybody, shout out to Ben Bailey in the chat room. Me and Ben went to elementary school together. So everybody, shout out to Ben Bailey in the chat room. Ben looks just like Michael Vick. That's how Ben looks. He looks exactly like Michael Vick. So shout out to Ben Bailey in the chat room. But everybody, please get the likes up. We have 174 people watching and only 49 likes. Can we please get the likes up? Again, if you're not super chatting, the least you could do is like and share. But Candice, why are they? I mean, so I'm a black man. I have a black children. You know, I have a black wife. Why are my chances reduced as far as getting on major television if I'm pro-black? Why are my chances reduced outside of you know, why are the LGBT community or the Swirling community, why are they given these opportunities if they're pro-black or speak on black issues or very focal on black issues over, you know, a guy that has a black wife and black kids?
Well, first of all, that would be like counterproductive to the narrative that the system has portrayed because they want us to believe that, you know, no black people are married, black people don't have good jobs, you know, just all these ridiculous stereotypes. And so they're like, in their minds, because we are not the executives, you know, we're not the ones who are making these decisions. They have to play their role because they have advertisers to answer to. They have, you know, an entire complicated system that has an agenda in mind. So no one, sorry, Dinus, nobody wants to see you with your beautiful black woman and beautiful black babies. That doesn't mean that not having black babies is wrong. You know, having mixed children to me is not wrong. the issue really is like the systemic portrayal of Black people just in general. Like there's just so many working parts that are really like working against us that just keep somebody like you out of the limelight. They want to make it look like it's the cool thing. I know it sounds really terrible, but it's the cool thing, like for Black men to be gay. Like, oh, it's normal. Like you should do it. Everybody should do it. And also with Black men getting with white women. I don't have a problem with that, but I do have a problem with it being pushed on people like that's what you have to do. You want to make it big, then you need to have, you know, Emily on your arm, and you can't get there with, you know, there are really great Black women, really great Black women out there who are any and everything that a white woman is and are out there doing their thing. But nobody sees that. That doesn't help ratings. It doesn't help.
Tumalu says in the chat room, TV tends to destroy images and make it into TV fodder. Why would a Black couple want that?
Read it to me again.
TV tends to destroy images and make it into TV fodder. Why would a Black couple want that?
I mean,
like why would a Black couple want to be on TV, I guess, or in the media? But you got to understand, back in the day, I mean, you had Martin. I mean, you had a lot of positive. Well, okay. Well, you had the Cosby Show. In fact, you had the Cosby Show, and you saw what happened to that. So you had a lot of positive images of Black people on TV, but now they're getting rid of it, and now we're getting just trap music. Why is that? Why now versus back in the 80s and early 90s?
You know, I've spent some time thinking about this.
Mm-hmm. Family matters.
You know, even not necessarily just Black family, but just like anything Black people doing positive, like a different world. Mm-hmm. Even living single, et cetera, et cetera. Like there were a ton of shows where, you know, you saw Black people in a positive light. I can't say for sure what, you know, what the agenda is or what the end game is. I can only see, like, on the surface level, clearly there's been a change. And I mean, we can sit as consumers and like gripe about it and blah, blah, blah. We're not really making any difference. The only way really to make a difference in that is to, like, first of all, promote our own images. And second of all, start our own businesses that are promoting our images, that are promoting, you know, the things that we want to see, because we have money. Black people, you know, are worth billions. You know, we spend billions every year. We have it. It's just that there's not enough people that really care right now to make it happen. I'm not the type of person who's like, oh, we should go and beg and fight, you know, Mr. White Man Executive to include us in this positive light, because he doesn't care. Like, that's not helping him. That's not bringing any benefit to him. So if we want to do it, like, we're going to have to do it ourselves. We shouldn't have been fighting to be on the bus. We should have just had our own buses.
Right. Right. Now, what about, you know, Issa Rae said, oh, well, let me, Waiter Sniper says, do you watch shows like Scandal?
Absolutely not.
I've never seen it. That or, what's the other one called with the hip hop family? What's it called? Help me out. Help me.
T.I., the one about T.I. and Tiny.
No. Come on, help me out with
Power.
not with 50 Cent. The other one, the other popular hip hop one. Come on, help me out, somebody. Help me out.
Come on now.
Someone help me out. The other show, Empire. Yeah,
Empire. Okay.
yeah. I never seen that. Now I'm not gonna lie. I watch Power. I love Power. I'm not gonna lie. Am I wrong for watching Power? Am I wrong for watching Power? I love Power. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I don't watch Scandal,
Mhm.
or Empire or Power. I have seen like an episode. I'm like, oh, what is everybody talking about? Blah blah blah. And then I turn it on, and for the most part, I'm just man, like when The Wire was big,
Mhm.
everybody was into it. I was like, oh, I have to hop on this bandwagon. And then
Mhm.
I checked it out, and I was like, I can't stomach another show of like just terrible, awful Black stereotypes. Now, yes, it's fiction. It's all just made up. And there are other fiction shows. I literally do not have a cable subscription. I
Mhm.
got a Netflix account, but I don't spend that much time watching TV. So when I do watch TV, like I want to watch something that's like helping me escape for a short 30 minutes from the BS. I'm not trying to dive into more shitty stereotypes. Like I'm trying to be away. I'm a Game of Thrones fan
Mhm.
because it's just ridiculous. And I like that.
Mhm.
Like it's ridiculous, and it's not like we don't have dragons flying around. So no one can mistake like this for reality, but people think that those ridiculous shows are what's actually like a portrayal of Black people.
Let me ask you this. Green Town marketer says these people aren't pro-black. They are anti-racist, integrationist. Huge difference. They are motivated by swirling and getting a piece of whiteness. Now, are you familiar with Jason Black?
Jason Black, hold on. I'm better with pictures.
Well, he really doesn't have a picture. You
Okay.
probably never seen his face.
No, then I'm not.
Black pretty much said that the main purpose he thinks of integration was the I would say the opportunity to chase interracial draws without having, I guess, as much issues as far as without facing the same, I guess, issues when chasing interracial draws when there was segregation. Um, what do you think Black people have gained from integration, and what was the real purpose of integration, the real objective?
Well, I think like on our side, and I say our, like my dad is Black. I follow you because I practice African spirituality. So in African spirituality, you identify with your bloodline, your father. My father is Black. If my father was white, I'd probably be white. But anyway, um, but integration for Black people, it really did not help. You put integration, you also add in feminism.
Uh-huh.
The only thing Black people have gotten is more separation, weakness, because really the family is the foundation. You don't have a family um, in the community, then you really don't even have a community. That's where it really starts. Um, and weak businesses, integration didn't help anybody, really. But that's going back to that thing that I was saying before, like um, going and like begging someone to respect you does not do you any good at all. So while I'm grateful for my mom and for my dad coming together, swirling or whatever you want to call it, I can say like for the Black community, as a whole, it's just been really tragic and a very fast fall, because I mean, only 50 years ago, you still had 4 out of 5 children were in a 2-parent household, like Black children in a 2-parent household. Now, like what, 3/4 of children are either with like a single parent, a single mom, some crazy like that. I was just looking at statistics not that long ago. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have them, in front of me.
I mean, you're pretty much spot on. So let me somebody brought up Don Peoples. So do you think the best thing that came out of integration was Black men having free access to chase white draws with reckless abandon?
I mean, I can't say for everyone, for every Black man, but I will say, like, for my father, we had conversations about it because it was like kind of disturbing to me.
Yeah, what's your father say? What's your father say?
Man, he told me, and it was disgusting to me. It didn't sit well with me because he told me that he would never be with a Black woman.
Why?
Because I think here's the real reason. The real reason was that the white women that he was with required less of him. They required less of him. For him, he knew, like, to be with a Black woman, he was going to have his shit together. He was not going to be out there, chasing skirts and taking advantage of and blah, 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 blah. But the white women that he was with, and he's no longer alive, but he did have children with 3 different white women.
Who, your dad did?
Yeah.
So your dad was a West Virginia what's it called? Keep going. It'll come to me.
Yeah, my dad. There's 6 of us with 3 different mothers from my father. But here's what's really sick and self-hating. In this conversation, he told me that
your dad was a rest in peace to your dad, but your dad was a West Virginia bedbug.
Basically, like,
rest in peace. I'm sorry, that was so wrong, but I'm so sorry.
Rest in peace. Look, I mean, he's gone, but call a cat a cat.
Right.
But he wanted me to be with a white man. And here's what's sad. When he saw me with a white man, because I did date one and I brought him around, and my dad was so happy that I was with this white guy, who, by the way, was just ugly inside and out. And then when I brought my husband around, he was like, oh, okay. And I asked him why after my husband was gone, and he was like, because what can this man do for you?
I know he said the N-word. He had to say the N-word.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep it a little bit. Trying not to make him look terrible, but he was like, what can he do for you? What can he really do for you? And after getting to know him, thank goodness, like, he got to know him and saw that my husband was anything that you could want for your daughter. And I even told my dad at like 19, 20, like, that's so self-hating. And I'm your daughter. And I'm a Black woman because I came from you, but you wouldn't ever want to be with somebody who has the same complexion as me. That's just self-hate.
But there's a lot of that going on. I mean, like I said, I gave the example with Harry Belafonte, what he told her as a kid. So, but my thing is with guys like this attitude, like with an attitude like this, i.e. Harry Belafonte, who did a lot in the civil rights movement, should we consider them pro-Black? If they're okay, here we go. Can you be pro-Black and be anti-Black woman, number one? And number two, if being so-called pro-Black and dating a non-Black woman, are you being anti-Black woman by default?
I will say you cannot be pro-Black and be anti-Black woman. It's okay to have your preference. It's okay to like what you like. But to demean Black women is to demean Black people, because the Black woman is the spine. She's the backbone. So you can't you can't pick and choose. That's just ridiculous to, you know, completely dismiss the quality of an entire group of people because, you know, you prefer white women. But I don't think that just because you prefer white women, and I won't go into like all of the spiritual aspects of what you know, your preferences, because that plays into it too, but we won't go into that. But if you happen to like white women, but you don't put down black women, that's fine. Like what you like. But you cannot, you know, be demeaning. You can be honest. A lot of people do misconstrue, because I've seen some brothers talk about things that they would like to see, you know, change in black women's behavior as a whole to become better partners. But it's a constructive criticism, and vice versa. That does not mean that you're demeaning black women.
Okay. How do you feel about, you know, again, someone that's in Hollywood who's kind of in the same category as the people we're talking about, Issa Rae? How do you feel about her comments as far as the what she said about Korean or Asian dating Asian men, and then the way she depicts black men on her show? Now, I've seen some of her show, and that was enough. But what are your thoughts on Issa Rae?
Well, I caught some little blurb about something that she had to say. Hold on, let me pull it up so I'm not, you know, just pulling stuff out of my butt. You said it was about Korean men, right?
Well, yeah. So basically, she said that black women should date.
Oh,
Asian.
yeah, that they should date Asian men, because both black women and Asian men are like the least desirable in this society. Which, by the way, like, we're in this society, so it makes us have a different point of view. But this is not like the this is not the standard for the whole world either. But I understand what she's saying, because there is a huge group of black women that are just like forever going unmarried. And part of that is because of this idea that they have to have a certain type of man, because feminism has really done a number on women. And I feel like men really should just like, they just have to have some patience and understanding, because women are all jacked up over feminism.
Okay.
Because we want a man to be the one bringing home the bacon and, you know, taking care of the house and providing. But yet we want to go out there and have, you know, super high PhDs and make a ton of money. And there's nothing wrong with that. But then when you have, you know, these two standards that kind of conflict with each other, that's kind of shrinking your dating pool.
Right.
To tiny. Most women, like, my husband is in a trade. He makes good money. But most black women would never give him the time of day because he works a blue collar job.
Okay, let me ask you this. Hold on, not to cut you off, but I'm cutting you off. Now, people are saying that the reason why a lot of these black men that we see with white women, the reason why they're not getting black women is because black women aren't, I guess, attracted to the so-called black nerd or the so-called black the blue collar worker. They're just attracted to, I guess, shiny things. What are your thoughts on that argument?
I do think there's some validity to that, but it's not just black women. I think it's black men too. As a black nerd, I struggled to get play.
Yeah, but you're in West Virginia though.
This is true. This is true. I'll give you that. But I do think like black women have this idea in their head of this man that they want, that is, he's making $100,000 a year plus. He wears a suit to work. all day, every day. He has to have a higher education than her, period. But they still want to be able to, they got to maintain their independence. And I'm a strong Black woman and yada, yada, yada. And I will tell you from experience, the way that I live my life, most of the Black women I know are not down with it and real confused.
Right.
Because I'm a stay-at-home mom and homeschool my child. And honey, I could never do that. I could never just be at home and blah blah blah. So there's been so many things I think fed to Black people that we just have this ridiculous like movie script in our mind of what we should have, and it doesn't fit with reality.
Right.
At all. We're living in like Love and Basketball ridiculousness, and nobody is trying to look at, okay, what's actually going on? The qualities that are in like the type of man that most women would actually want right now are chicks. Like most women right now, especially if they watch like sappy movies or whatever, the guy is super rich, but he's also like real sensitive and always is sending her flowers and writing her love letters and blah blah blah. So there's like a disconnect. They want the shiny things. They want him to look shiny, got to be handsome, he got to have abs. Knowing we ain't going to no gym and sweating out here. Okay, because what I hardly ever see Black women in the gym.
Well, you're a wrestler. When I work out, I mean, I would say this though. You do have a point because it's predominantly men in pretty much all the gyms that I go to that I ever seen. But I mean, you do have Black women in the gym, but not a lot. You do have a point. Right.
Okay. Some of them do. In general, though, like Black women, we are heavier. We are eating good and not necessarily taking the best care. We look good in general, but not necessarily taking good care of ourselves. And yes, keep in mind, I live in West Virginia, but I have gotten out of West Virginia and I have traveled to many places. So, and I know a lot of people all over. Things in West Virginia are of a whole, like this is Swirl City.
Really? West Virginia?
West Virginia. Okay, most people don't even know that there are Black people in West Virginia.
Really?
But we here. Okay, but everybody here is swirling like crazy. But it's mostly Black men with white women. There are very, very few Black women with white men. We have a situation where there's a lot of Black women and it's real small. So 3 Black women got children by the same dude in the same block. And then he goes and he, gets with Becky.
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
West Virginia. So I mean, somebody made a good statement up here. Hold on one second. Where is it? Oh, Atlanta Angel 84 said that the educated Black man is overrated. What are your thoughts on that?
I won't say that he's overrated, but he's not necessarily what a woman really needs to have as like a partner. So what I will say is that there's nothing wrong with a man, having an education. He wants to provide for his family. That's great, actually, to, you know, be a provider. That's wonderful. But there are other ways to do it. And I have seen too a lot of educated Black men, because they feel like they're like unicorns, get very full of themselves. And they, I mean, it's good for them because they have like their pick of women. But then a lot of them feel like they don't even have to ever settle down, because there's just like endless women throwing themselves at these guys because he wears a suit and, you know, drives the Benz. Black women really are into shiny things right now.
People, can we please get the likes up? I mean, we have 294 people watching, only 126 likes. Can we please hit that like button? I would greatly appreciate it. Again, if you're not super chatting, the least you could do is hit the like button and share the actual content. Also, to everyone, I shipped all of the postcards. It's a bad echo. Goodness, I can't stand this bad echo. But I shipped the postcard. So, you know, as usual, if you super chat, you will get a postcard. All right. So again, if you're not super chatting, please get the likes up and please share. So what we'll do, we'll go ahead and close out. This echo was killing me. What we'll do, we'll go ahead and close out. So why? I mean, how should Black people address what's going on? Because I mean, this is my thing. This is how I feel about the Republican Party, and the Democrats are what you call the conservatives, are liberals that are on TV. Black liberals who are on TV have no issue calling out white supremacy, but they refuse to call out the fuckery in the LGBT community or feminism. Black conservatives will call out all of that, but they're scared shit on TV, who are on TV, or will have no problem calling out those issues, but they are scared shitless to call out white supremacy. When are Black people going to get the message that none of these people will serve our best interests?
You know, I'm constantly wondering that, because Black people as a whole have really just stopped thinking and have just been reacting emotionally to anything that's thrown at us. Anything, whether it sounds good, we hop on board. If it sounds terrible, we shun it. Even if it actually makes sense, if you just take a minute and think about it. I'll be honest, politically, I have yet to really see anybody in the public, Democrat or Republican, that really is about Black people, period. Obama, I'm sorry. It was nice. He looked great in a suit. But what was he really doing for Black people?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. So yeah, we can sit and complain about Trump and, oh, we miss Obama, but what was he doing for Black people? So it's really going to be on us to use our intelligence and stop being emotional, because we're hella emotional. There's a reason, like, a lot of these politicians won't touch feminism and won't touch, you know, the LGBTQT plus community, because it's getting out of hand with all of their acronyms now. They won't touch it because they know, like, if they touch it, people who it doesn't even pertain to are going to flip out. No one's even going to hear what they have to say about it. And, you know, Black conservatives, they're over there just people pleasing all of the white good old boys.
Right. Right. I'm glad you called that out. The white people pleasing the white good old boys. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. None of them really have our best interest in general. But again, it goes back to that whole thing I was saying earlier. Like, if we want something to change, we have to be the ones to change it. Because politics really is not where it's going to happen.
Okay.
It's not going to happen there because we don't have enough power there. Getting one Black person into the Senate is not going to have that big of a difference. Period. What we have to do is, like, I had a situation when I first started my own business.
Go ahead. What do you? And when you get done, tell people what you do and how we can get in contact with you, and share with everyone your business you have as well.
Hold on, I'm gonna go in and plug my computer up. But yeah. So whenever I started my own business, you know, I had a lot of Black people who were just like not supportive of my business, and a lot of people like get all up in arms in that, take that really to heart. And to me, it was never an issue. And here's why it wasn't a problem. Because in order for us to be successful as a Black community, we have to have things that everybody wants.
Mm-hmm.
We should be having things that white people pay us for,
mm-hmm.
that Asian people come to us for.
Right.
And so when I built my business, I built it on having, I didn't restrict it to the Black community, and I didn't put a whole lot of stock in making sure that Black people supported me in business.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we should be thinking. Yes, we need to build the Black community and support each other, but you can't force people to support you. But if we come up with ideas and we control our ideas, and then other people have to come to us and give us their money, then we can have a strong financial. Hold on, I'm on a call. Okay.
Sound just like my son.
Ooh, smells good. Mm-hmm. That's how we can have a strong financial foundation for our community. Super excited over taping. So yeah, I currently right now I'm usually doing marketing consulting, business development consulting. I've put all of that on pause right now. Not taking on any clients at the moment because my husband wants to start a business, and so I'm supporting my husband in starting his business. And I tell him the very same thing, like, don't rely on just having the Black community support for your business. Period. Now, it's good to like hire in and help other Black men, which we have plans. We have some things in mind, some ways of doing that. But when it comes to like the customers that we're going to be serving through his business, it's going to be targeted to whoever wants to pay him money.
Right. Yeah, of course, that's business.
It's business.
See, that's the thing. I think people think when you say Black business or being pro-Black and having a business is like that, you're not going to serve everyone. And I think that's a big misconception.
It is. Pro-Black is not
woke doesn't equal broke.
Racism.
Right.
Not at all.
Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly. But please tell everyone how we can get in contact with you. So if they want to reach out, you know, they could chop it up and continue the discussion if they want to offline. But yeah, how can everyone get in contact with you?
You can find me on Facebook, Candiss Pitts, Candiss. Probably the only one spelled that way. I'm barely starting a YouTube channel, but it does exist.
What is it?
What
the hell calling me? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Candiss. I think it's Candiss Pitts. That's it.
Okay.
It's my name.
I misspelled your name. I'm so sorry. Candiss Pitts.
That's all right.
YouTube.com. Everybody, please go subscribe to Miss Candiss YouTube and Facebook. Okay, make sure you guys go there. But Candiss, thank you so much for coming on. Last minute. I appreciate you for taking time out of your evening and coming on and chopping it up with us. Thank you so much. It means a lot.
No problem. Glad to be here. We can do
No problem. And people want you to come back on as well, so don't be a stranger.
Okay, nice.
No problem. But everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And also make sure you go to amarachitv.com. That's a platform for African media. Also go to searchforhuru.com, africapersonified.africa. Go to DinahSamir.com. Go to Amazon.com and search the name Dinah Samir. Also go to Search for Huru on Instagram. Goodness, God, grace. God, oh my God. We got a lot of thirsty Negroes. Candiss is married, okay?
I'm married. I've been with my husband almost 10 years. There is no shot. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, she's married, you thirsty Negro. Stop it. But again, all right, so make sure you go to Search for Huru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Also go to Africa Personified on those same platforms. Till next time, everyone. I'll be back on here shortly, probably in an hour. I'll be back on. So until next time, everybody, peace.